Welcome to the 5 o'clock show. It's time for Common Sense. Now, it's Katz and Cosby with John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby, standing for truth, justice, and the American way, bringing common sense to the world. Now, here's John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby. Breaking news, WABC.
Wow, John on Katz and Cosby today. It was the most dramatic extradition hearing or walk-in I've ever seen. Well, first of all, let's play it, and then we'll introduce everybody who's joining us in studio.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch, and the insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
That is the 26-year-old. That's the Luigi Mangione. This is the guy who is suspected of killing the United Healthcare CEO in broad daylight.
You'll never see Pennsylvania again.
Okay, he's going to fast track to New York. John, I have never seen anything like that. Just to give everybody a sense, as he's being led in for the extradition hearing in Pennsylvania, where he was found at the McDonald's, he's screaming, he was shouting. In case you couldn't hear it, he essentially said, this is unjust. It's an insult to the intelligence of the American people. This is a lived experience.
Did I understand what's unjust?
Yeah, see, I think he's going to go like, look what happened to me from the healthcare system, and he's going to try to pretend like he's a martyr.
He's
Craig
just setting
Eaton.
up his insanity defense right now. That's what he's doing.
See, I think he's trying to be a martyr. I don't think it's
I'm crazy.
insanity.
I can't be charged. I didn't know what I was doing.
I think he thinks like he's like doing the right thing for America and the world, and this guy's obviously a killer, Judge Weinberg.
You think?
Cold-hearted.
What would give it away? What would give it away? The film?
Well, you know what's scary though, Judge Weinberg? There are people out there glorifying this guy.
Are we going to put it on our website?
Disgusting.
Well, Rita?
Let's put it up on our website.
Put it on the website. Go to WABCRadio.com website and see the video.
And by the way, we have a great, awesome special guest with us who's joining us in studio. In addition, of course, to Craig Eaton, we have Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor under the Trump administration, just back from Israel. And you have a brand new book coming out, The Battle for the Jewish State, How Israel and America Can Win. Great to have you here. What's your reaction? You're from Pennsylvania.
Fantastic. Great to be with you guys. I mean, I guess I'm a little embarrassed that I share an alma mater with Mangione, the University of Pennsylvania. And I've got to wonder, what are our kids being taught these days?
I mean,
that it's somehow acceptable.
From a nice family in Pennsylvania.
No, in
middle class
Baltimore.
family, Baltimore.
Yeah. No, they're upper class, John. I mean, they're philanthropists. They're pillars of the community. This guy went to a great high school. And went to Penn. And this is where he comes out. It's okay to gun somebody down in cold blood.
And try to justify it in some kooky way today, you know? What's interesting today also, it came out a little bit of the background of the guy. Like you just said, his family's, it's all these very hoity-toity country clubs, well-to-do, but then he fell off the grid, according to family members, and somewhere like the last year, they haven't heard from him. He had back surgery, and has been complaining about the pain, and wrote in his crazy manifesto something about healthcare, United Healthcare. So I think he's setting himself up to say, look what I did. Look at the cost of American healthcare. And the minute he saw the cameras today, he threw himself up against the wall and then started screaming.
It could be addiction to drugs after the surgery that's causing him these mental issues. Pain drugs. Yeah. I mean, that's a very common thing today.
Yeah.
And you have surgery.
How does it get from there? Unless they didn't pay for it, but the family could afford to pay on their own. Yeah. So, I mean, if United Healthcare didn't pay, the family wasn't poor.
Right. No. It wasn't poor. And also, here he is sitting, I still can't figure out, you guys, how was he like this guy who was evading authorities, did all this planning in New York to carry out this horrible execution shooting, and then he's hanging out having hash browns in McDonald's.
In Altoona.
And in a backpack has the gun.
And $10,000.
Yeah.
Where did that cash come from? That's the question.
Yeah, and foreign money too also.
But who paid him that money?
So in other words, there's some insinuations been going around the last few days that he was a paid assassin.
Paid assassin, yeah.
So we'll see.
I still want to know, moments before he shot the poor victim.
He's on the phone.
Who's he talking to at that moment?
And how did he pick him?
Yeah, why did he pick him?
Went on the web, looked it up.
I think it's more than that.
How would he know the guy was going to be there for that meeting that day? I mean, that's intel.
That shows that he's being cased.
But that's intel that's kind of secret. It's not something that's public knowledge.
And he knew he walked from across the street.
And before we take our first guest, Alan Dershowitz, I want to ask Victoria. I understand these drones. There's a 2:00 meeting today from Homeland Security, and we're going to find out more.
Big hearing,
today. But the Coast Guard guy, they had 6 drones following a Coast Guard boat. Why didn't the Coast Guard captain just shoot them down?
No, this is crazy, John. I mean, and these things are big. They're the size of cars. They're flying over northern New Jersey. They're flying near Bedminster. They're flying near our military establishments up there. This is insane. It's like the military, the balloon, the Chinese spy balloon, just drifting across the country. And
they never would have done, and Victoria, they never would have done anything about it, but for a citizen pointing out that it was flying over the spy balloons.
And they let it fly across the country.
They got all the data they needed.
Right.
And then they shot it down.
Right. 100%. Off the coast after it flew.
They shot it
down
after we gave the Chinese all the data they needed because they didn't want to be able to blame the Chinese.
And I would also point out that was the first live fire kill for an F-22 ever, and it was off the coast of South Carolina.
I remember. By the way, on this, I just also, because I was watching a lot of this today, 49 reports of drones on Sunday alone over New Jersey. And you could tell even the governor of New Jersey, all sides, Republicans, Democrats, are coming out and saying, we don't know what it is.
So what do we say? Something's rotten in Jersey?
Something's rotten. And also Staten Island, because they're seeing him in Staten Island, too. Isn't that interesting?
Jack Ciavarelli's going to fix all of this when he gets in. But don't worry.
If the Coast Guard captain, I wish I could interview him, didn't shoot them down. Because if I was the captain of that Coast Guard ship, I would shoot them down. Or somebody ordered them not to do it.
Yeah, what's going on?
But the one problem is one of them they say is as large as a car. I can't fathom that, but if it is, if you shoot that down and it falls, you can do damage to people or property. So that's also something. It's
in the middle of the ocean?
It's in the ocean. I didn't know if it's in the middle of the ocean. I thought it was right above Bedminster. Where else would a Coast Guard
ship be?
No, but I'm saying she said it was above Bedminster.
So that's
they're all over the place.
So the one, the
that
one's
could ruin
over the ocean.
Course. I mean, really.
Yeah.
By the way, the one thing that's troubling, and this has been so far today, they've been saying they don't believe it's U.S. military intel. So that's concerning. It's not one of ours. So it begs the question, Victoria, whose is it? Yes.
And hopefully it's not the Chinese.
Wow. By the way, as we were talking about the United Healthcare shooting, on the flip side, you got Daniel Penny. Huge decision yesterday, found not guilty.
Amazing.
Which was an amazing case. Your reaction, Craigie, we haven't had a chance.
The judge and I were talking about earlier because, as lawyers, it seemed like when they were deadlocked on the larger charge, once they threw out the bigger charge, that they would have come back with a conviction on the lesser charge, almost like a compromised verdict.
That sounds illogical.
But to come back and because someone on the jury wanted to convict on the higher charge. Some people one or more wanted to, and they were deadlocked.
That's why Brad put it in. He set it up to be a compromised verdict.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was surprised. I'm happily surprised. Pleasantly surprised because I think it was the right decision.
Justice for Penny, justice for
America.
Decision.
I think the jury felt that it's the right decision.